Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for watching Yo-Yo Store Rewind. My name is T from TokYo-Yo. Today we're going to be reviewing a yo-yo that I actually didn't expect to like too much, but the colorways that came out, the new shapes and everything, I was pretty excited to give it a try. So without further ado, let's take a look at the TopYo Colossus 3. So does this yo-yo make giant strides over its predecessor, or the bigger they are, the harder they fall? Alright, so here we are taking a look at the Colossus 4 from TopYo. So as for shape, you can see it's got a very nice rounded off sort of HW hybrid. The older Colossus was far more W shaped, and I'm not sure about the Colossus 1 and Colossus 2, but as far as the Colossus 3 goes, that was much more of a performance W shape. This one plays a little bit more with the H shape, giving you a little bit more rim weight, but it still has a little remnant of that W shape. As you can see, it goes up with an angle here, not really straight up, but out to the side, and then a single little flare out here. But it does feel like it's a little bit more of an H profile than the other one. The cup is very different from the Colossus 3. The Colossus 3 had a little nubbin in the middle, but these other cuts were pretty similar. On the Colossus 4, you have this little button shape in here that goes in. It is not really helpful for finger spins, but I think it does look a lot better than the last Colossus's cup. The Colossus 4 is made out of 7003 aluminum, like most of the stuff in TopYo's lines. I like it because it lets them play with cost a little bit, lets them keep the costs down, also lets them make it more durable, so they say, and it also lets them throw more money at anodization and other stuff. So I'm all for the metal choice, and I think this one does better with the 7003 than other yo-yos have in TopYo's line. The feel is much better than the 3. If you watched my review on the 3 for TokYo-Yo, it's a fine yo-yo, but it definitely wasn't my style at all. I didn't like it that much. And this one, I think, fixes a lot of problems, starting with hand feel. I really was not a fan of how the older Colossus 3 was sort of undersized, but not really. It was kind of like not sure if it was a bigger yo-yo or a smaller yo-yo, and I really didn't like it for the size. This one makes it a little bigger, a little wider, and I really think that fixes a lot of problems. And starting with the hand feel, it's much, much better. And the look of this thing, I mean, I mentioned the cup here looks really cool. The shape is a lot better. It's more catchable. Just overall, the color of this thing, the colorways that come out from TopYo are incredible. This is the spring colorway, I believe, pinks and this turquoise green on white. I'm not sure which is the body color here, the turquoise or the white, but in any case, this is just really gorgeous. This mix of colors, you pretty much couldn't pick a better color combo for me. I'm a huge fan of both green and pink, and this thing looks just spectacular. And of course, one other thing you want to mention too when you're talking about feel is that the inside here and the material itself in the gap has been blasted. It's very matte, very comfortable, while the cups are glossy all the way from the inside of the rim here down to the center of the cup. So it's got a nice kind of difference in hand feel and quality, similar to the carp fin, how the carp fin is blasted inside and then glossy inside. And it's a kind of difference and distinction in material and feel that I really enjoy. So I've got the string around my neck because everywhere else it's wet. It's been raining here for the last few days. So I did get the Colossus 3 from Rewind. This was ordered from them because I was really curious about it. Although I wasn't the biggest fan of the Colossus 3, you can go back and watch my review on TokYo-Yo if you'd like to. Basically, the gist of it was, it's not a bad yo-yo, I think. It just didn't jive with me at all. The spin times were a little bit limited. I couldn't really decide if it was a bigger yo-yo, if it was trying to be undersized. I felt like the shape wasn't the most comfortable. It was kind of like a miniature W shape. I did like how quiet and smooth it was. I did like the colorway quite a bit. But this improves on it in just about every way, which we'll get to. But basically, the other history of this is that there have been 4 Colossuses. Colossi? Colossus? Colossi. This is the 4th in the Colossus line, and I think it's really optimized the design. They've made it bigger, they've made it wider, they've changed the cup up again. It feels like it's really, really nailing down what I think they can do with this shape and this size. Besides that, it's also another one of the yo-yos in TopYo's budget line, which pretty much all their yo-yos are budget, not in terms of quality, but in terms of what they charge. I'm really not sure how they're successful releasing yo-yos of this quality at such low prices. Like, it must be really difficult, but they're definitely doing a really good job at it. As for the play of the Colossus 3, this thing plays really solid. Now when you first throw it, you may think, that feels a little bit heavy. But I think the more you play it, the more you get used to it, the less it has that problem. When you first throw it, it's got a little bit of an impact at the end of the string. It doesn't feel like a rock or anything like that. It's nothing like that at all. But I think when you first hold it, when you first feel it, you may think like it plays a little bit lighter. But this thing plays with a little bit more power and a little bit more weight. Once you get used to that on your throw, you're going to be able to compensate, and it's not a problem. This thing is dead smooth, you guys. A lot of the stuff in TopYo's lines is really smooth. This one is really, really smooth. It kind of blows me away. Not only is the inside matte and the outside glossy here, so it makes for an altogether smooth yo-yo, but just the smoothness as it's spinning is incredible, especially again for the low price. I'm not sure how they were able to get it this smooth. Their quality control is out of control. It's quite stable for its shape as well. It's not like particularly built with like tons of rim weight. It's not a super high performance shape or anything like that. So I was really impressed that they were able to get the stability as nice as it is. Another thing this thing is really good at is the spin times. That was a problem, as I mentioned, I had with the original Colossus 3, is that the spin times were really limited. I felt like it was dying way too quick, especially for like the shape it had and for, you know, the kind of performance style that it was going for. It could have just been the one I had, but I played it for a long time and never really improved the spin times. This one right out of the box spins really long time, very, very nicely. The bearing was quiet when I first got it. It's super noisy now, but that doesn't really bother me. Great response on this. I like the pads that TopYo uses. These white pads are really high quality, and with every string I've used, it's really, really nice. If you use a little bit thinner or a tighter wound string, you get that really nice ping sound, but with every string I've had, the response has been no issue at all. And it just has a great feel and play. Like I mentioned, it has a little bit of weight to it, which you wouldn't first expect, but because of the stability, because of the longer spin times over the 3, because it has a better hand feel, because of that kind of flared out H shape, I just think it feels better in play. It feels better to catch than the 3. It feels better to throw than the 3. It feels better on the string than the 3. Just generally, I think it's a big improvement. I felt like the Colossus 3 could get away from me, like it was playing a little bit too fast and sometimes I'd lose control of it. Not so with the 4, because it's got that extra weight, and I think because it's a little bit more H than W, I feel like they balance the speed out. So now I don't feel like it's really trying to escape my grasp or anything. I feel like I have a lot more control over the Colossus 4. Very nice grinds on this as well. It's not the best just because of the shape, but the material in the gap makes it really, really nice for finger grinds. And as long as you maintain your balance, it's not going to help you in that way. You got to make sure you maintain it yourself. It's pretty good for finger grinds. Finger spins are not the best. It's glossy in the center here. You might think that this cup is good for finger spins, but it just kind of skips around like that. So as long as you have any skill with finger spins outside of like a Skyva or a Vapor Motion or something, you're going to be just fine. And I do, like I said, feel like the 7003 is better applied here than it has been in the Colossus 3. I feel like I can tell the metal difference a little bit in this over the Colossus 3. Before I felt like it was just a novelty and I really wouldn't have known otherwise. Whereas this one, as soon as I took it out of the box and I put it in my hand, I was like, oh yeah, that feels different. That does feel like a different metal. So I'm not sure if it's the different coating they've done on it or just the weight is better balanced or something, but it feels like a different type of material. In conclusion, I like this a lot more than the Colossus 3. It's improved in nearly every way. Like I said, spin times, hand feel, the way it catches, the way it responds on the string, the way it moves, the speed of it, like being able to control how fast and slow it's going. I feel like it's just been improved in so many ways over the Colossus 3. It comes in a lot of great colors too. I know TopYo is always coming out with crazy new colorways and stuff. Like as soon as they announced these, I think 2 or 3 weeks later, they already had another picture of a few different colors coming out. So, you know, I would be surprised if you can't find one of these in a color that you love, because they're really cool ones. There's like yellow and purple and this green and pink and all kinds of different color contrasts and stuff. So just keep an eye out. There's bound to be a colorway you love. And I can't get over the price of it. You know, everything that TopYo has been coming out with recently has been in that $30 to $50 range, and it all plays fantastically. Everything plays so smooth. It plays so high quality. When TopYo first came onto the scene, I wasn't really sure what to think of them. A lot of people were talking really positively about them. I tried the Quantum. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Quantum, but I know a lot of people like it for 5A. But the more I've played with their stuff, especially like the Mojo, really turned me on to like how good a $20 plastic could be. It kind of reached the Skyva in terms of like playability and fun. And I really like how wide and big and monstrous the Mojo is, how well it responds on the string. So it's just nice to see that the longer they go, the more they iterate, the better their stuff is getting. Every time they release one of these new yo-yos, they just get better and better. So I really think the Colossus 4 is a lot of fun. You owe it to yourself to give it a try if you get an opportunity. All right, thank you boys and girls so much for watching Yo-Yo Store Rewind. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave us a like, a comment, a subscription. I'd really appreciate it. There's actually... I'm not a big fan of this. Hold on a second. This is the thing I use to film. You can see it's all wet over here. There's a slug on my tripod. Get off my tripod, you slug. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Take care, have a nice day, and sayonara.